Hey everyone. Today we're going to be covering two questions I've gotten a lot in the comments. The first is, what is the crossover frequency between the woofer and the tweeter in the Symfoniks? And the other one is, what is the driver impedance for both? And both are important if you're going to be biamping a pair of speakers with the Symfonic amplifiers. And I have a pair of Klipsch KG4s that I've been having a lot of fun biamping. And those are crossed over at 1800 hertz with the passive crossover. And so I was a little worried that the symphonic crossover was closer to 2,000 or 3,000 hertz, and it was going to be making the Klipsch woofer work too hard to hit those high frequencies. But really, it was all a guess. And then I realized I actually could empirically figure out what the electronic crossover is in the Symfoniks just by feeding in some pink noise to each driver and seeing where they cross over. So what I did is I started running that pink noise through the Symfoniks. I used this measurement app on my phone. This is the overall response of the Symfonic at about a foot away. You can see it's relatively flat. It definitely has a rising response to make it sound bassier than it is. And so what we really want to do here is measure the tweeter. And so luckily on my Symfoniks, I have a little switch. I can just turn the woofer off, so we're just hearing the tweeter. And I held the microphone very close to the tweeter, and this is what the close mic'd response is. And so the thing that we really care about here is that part about in the middle where the tweeter starts rolling off and getting quieter and quieter. So that is telling us that that is where the crossover frequency is happening for the tweeter. And so then what we want to do is the same thing for the woofer. And so we're just going to repeat the process. We're going to shut off the tweeter, turn on the woofer, and do a close mic'd response. And so this is what the woofer looks like by itself. And again, what we care about here is the part to the right where the high end of the woofer starts to roll off. And it's a little hard to spot where the crossover is happening here because the woofer is not exactly ruler flat. It gets a lot clearer though when you start overlaying the woofer curve with the tweeter curve. So now you can see those two things lined up on the same chart, and there is that point that looks like an X, and hey, that's the crossover point. So as it turns out, the crossover on the symphonic speaker is right around 1600 hertz. So I was off a little bit, almost by a whole octave. So hey, my bad. Sorry about that, everyone. But to be fair, I did tell you it was a guess. So coming back to my Klipsch KG4 question, that means I'm actually in good shape. So the passive crossovers that were probably shallower were at 1800 hertz, and we're at 1600. So I think everything's A-okay there. So that was a fun little bit of detective work to figure out the crossover frequency. And so for the second question about impedance, I had the perfect opportunity because I had a really, really loose binding post. It was kind of like a loose tooth and it was driving me crazy. So I figured, hey, this is a good time to open the cabinet and also measure the drivers. So if you haven't done it before, all you have to do is grab some needle nose pliers, pull those little grill covers off, take the 8 screws out of the front panel, grab onto the port and gently pull that out. It's worth noting that there is this ribbon cable connector, so be really careful when you do take off the front panel. You have to flip up the cover for that so that you can remove the ribbon cable safely. This is what the cabinet looks like inside, and so I just tightened these down with some pliers and then added a wee bit of hot glue to make sure they don't spin anymore. And for folks that were curious about what the switches look like inside the cabinet, that black box at the top of the screen here is the switch for the tweeter. And I do have a whole video, a wiring guide that explains how to wire in the switches if you're interested. All right, so while I had the speakers open, I did want to measure the impedance because it is important to understand what the impedance of the drivers are in the Symfonic, because that will help you if you're using this to biamp another set of speakers. None of this is relevant if you're just hooking up an active sub. All right, so for the woofer, we're looking at about a 4 ohm impedance here. So remember, with impedance, it's a curve that changes with frequency. So this is not a hard number, it's more of a curve, but I would call this a nominal 4 ohm load for the woofer. And for the tweeter, we're seeing about 7 ohms. So I think they would normally rate that at an 8 ohm tweeter. So 4 ohms for the woofer, 8 ohms for the tweeter, and you just want to basically keep within that range. So it's okay if you had An 8 ohm woofer, no problem. Or if you had a 4 ohm tweeter, those are both okay. Because remember, what we really care about is not stressing the amplifiers out. And the lower the impedance, the more current it can draw. But this is set up already to handle a 4 ohm woofer, which is the most power hungry part of the equation. So, I would say you can do anything from 4 to 8 ohms and run Trueplay, and that will sort out any sort of sensitivity differences. And yeah, so not a big deal. I think this will pretty much work with any normal speaker that you might run into when bi-amping. So, go forth, bi-amp, and now you're armed with a little more information. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I've got more videos on the clip speakers and just bi-amping in general. Thanks for watching.